Let me ask you this, because
Yes.
I want to give you a chance to be fair. Is Dallas lucky that they won the division, or is this team actually good?
Hell yeah, they lucky. Hell yeah, they're lucky. Listen, let me tell you something right now. I'll give you credit where credit is due when you're producing on all sides of the ball. This defense is big time. This defense of the Dallas Cowboys is legit. There is no doubt about it. Mad respect to them. Cannot deny it. Smith and this kid Van Der Esch is something special to behold. DeMarcus Lawrence, even though he didn't have a sack in weeks until yesterday, he's still there. Listen, I like a lot of the personnel that they have on the defensive side of the ball, and I'm going to give props where props is due. But the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, don't even get me started with Jameis Winston. I don't even get me started. I'm done. I'm just done.
There's going to be a big conversation if he'll be back there next season.
Presence in the pocket awareness. I mean, you dancing in the pocket. You don't think you're going to get to you waving like you standing by yourself away from the crowd. Of course, you got almost whiplash for crying out loud. Got popped silly. You give up the fumble. Jalen Smith returns and scampers down the left sideline for a touchdown. On a handoff to your running back late in the game. You're only down 7. On a handoff, what happens? They fumbled a damn handoff. Randy Gregory, I believe it was recovered. You go down to the 2-yard line. So you talk about 14 points right there. That was basically because of Tampa's offense instead of your own. Meanwhile, Dak Prescott, let me be very, very clear. I like Dak Prescott. I think he deserves a lot of his money, maybe not max dollars or whatever the case may be, not those exorbitant dollars, but I like Dak Prescott.
Okay.
I truly, truly do. But these are relatively pedestrian numbers. 161 yards passing, really? You complete 20 of 25 passes for 161. If that ain't thinking and dunking, I don't know what is, okay? You ain't making out. Your number one receiver is Amari Cooper, targeted just 5 times. 4 times he catches a pass for 20 yards. 20 yards. You're damn near throwing behind you, for crying out loud. You certainly ain't looking downfield. So I'm looking at it from that perspective. As far as I'm concerned, there was no passing game for the Dallas Cowboys that really, really existed. So when I look at it from that perspective, here's what it comes down to for me. Dallas's defense is elite. Their offense is highly suspect outside of Ezekiel Elliott. And don't get me started on Jason Garrett and Scott Linehan, because I'm wondering what the hell they're doing in terms of their play calling. Because don't tell me that Dak Prescott deserves that minimal amount of faith where you don't even have him looking downfield, for crying out loud. You ain't winning. You ain't making no noise in the playoffs with that nonsense. So I'm not sold on the Cowboys by any stretch of the imagination. They lucked up. The Washington Redskins was in the mix. Alex Smith goes down. And then Colt McCoy goes down. And then Mr. Butt Fumble himself, Mark Sanchez, goes down. And now you got Josh Johnson. He's up in there. And they almost beat Tennessee. I wonder what the Redskins would have done if their quarterback was still healthy. The Philadelphia Eagles ravaged in their secondary in terms of injuries. 10 players on the defensive side of the ball hurt. 4 from their secondary, and still they managed to still be alive in this playoff picture. I believe if those two things had not happened. You didn't even mention
the Giants. They're just that bad.
Not at all. I believe if those two things hadn't happened, or the multitude of things to those two teams had not happened, we would not be talking about the Cowboys, because their offense is suspect.
Lucky?
Of course they're lucky.
They're good-ish. They're good-ish.
Look, that's luck. How about luck-ish?
But the point is, there are 32 teams in the league.
Yeah.
And the Cowboys are arguably a top 10 team. They're arguably...
Top 10?
Yeah, arguably, yeah.
Are you kidding?
What do you think, better or worse?
Better.
You want to look through the league? I'll throw out...
Yeah, I'd love to
I'll throw out
top
some teams,
10.
and you tell me who they're definitely better than. Are they definitely better than the Patriots? Are they definitely better than the Chiefs or the Chargers? I would say no to all 3. Okay. Ravens? I would say no. Steelers? That's close.
A lot of them are debatable, though.
Colts? Right, so they're arguable.
A lot of them are debatable.
So debatable means arguably in the top 10. I can keep going.
I'm right here.
By the way, I would say better than top 10.
I'm right here.
Rams,
and I'm disgusted
Seahawks,
that you
Bears,
I'm
Vikings.
disgusted you would even entertain that
Saints.
question. Don't even entertain it. Forget about the Cowboys at top 10. Let them win a playoff game first.
The team changed when they got Amari Cooper.
The point is they are arguably, as I said, a top 10 team.
Well, I'm arguing
certainly,
against it.
They are,
how about that?
Okay, but they're certainly in the upper half of teams. So it depends on how you want to define good. They are lucky in this sense. Not for the points, the reasons. They're lucky that they play in a clown division right now. The way the Patriots are lucky that they play in football's ultimate clown division. I pointed out I've been pointing out that one of the reasons for the Patriots' success, greatest quarterback, greatest coach, greatest GM, all those things, yes. And also, they've never, literally, in Brady's entire career, there really hasn't been a legitimate franchise quarterback on any of the other teams in his division ever, his entire career. An old Brett Favre? No. We're talking about a real franchise quarterback, been with the team. So the point is, Chad Pennington with, not a strong arm, then he winds up getting hurt. He was good for a couple years. No, that doesn't count. So they have a free pass to the playoffs, usually a first-round bye. Then the second game in the playoffs, their first game, they have at home. They have to win one home game. They're in the AFC Championship game. The point is, that's what the Dallas Cowboys faced this year. The Eagles were destroyed in their secondary. The Giants were a joke.
Okay.
Washington is normally mediocre once again and lost their quarterback.
Lost 3 quarterbacks.
Right. They were lucky to play in the NFC East. So they're a top 50 percentile team in a weak division.
Thank you for going around the country before you got to the point that they were lucky. I really appreciate that. And oh, by the way, it's not a clown division. And right away, it's not a clown division. And you know why it's not a clown division? Because if that's a clown division, well, guess what? You already said that the AFC East is even more of a clown division. What about the NFC South? Because we got New Orleans. You seen Atlanta this year? Seen Carolina this year?
We got who?
No, I'm saying you said New Orleans.
South.
Yeah, we got New Orleans.
No. What I'm saying is that's
Cowboys
one team.
beat New Orleans,
I'm talking
by the way.
about the division. The NFC South is suspect.
Yeah.
The NFC South is suspect. So we can say that about that as well. This year, when you look at the injuries to the Philadelphia Eagles, when you look at the injuries at three different quarterbacks for the Washington Redskins, I'm not going to call that a clown division. I'm just going to say it's bad luck, which worked advantageously for the Dallas Cowboys this year.
Let me rephrase. The AFC East is a clown division. Agreed?
Yes.
Clown franchises
All
and
the
the
time.
Patriots. The NFC East this year
Injuries.
is simply extremely weak.
Yeah, because injuries. All right, that's fine.
Okay,
it happens, though.
Right. So the Cowboys are not a weak team. They are in the upper 50 percentile, maybe a top 10 team in a weak division.